Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Langreskaya. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. FK9DD, playing as the US forces in the blue. And his opponent is going to be none other than PanzerGrenadierAngreifen, playing as the Osttruppen or Wehrmacht faction in the red. So once again, no OKW. Not sure if it's a coincidence that after the hotfix, I'm not getting any OKW replays, or it's just, you know, the luck of the draw. But that's interesting. I mean, they didn't really change much. It was fixes to the population cap bug, but well, who knows? Maybe that was enough. I still don't think it's much of a big difference, but we'll see. So anyways, we see Mr. Angreifen going right away for the Osttruppen Doctrine. As we can see, Osttruppen now on the field, getting himself an MG42 and following it up with more Osttruppen. Obviously no tech. He gets the MG42 because remember, that was changed quite a while ago, that you can build the MG from the HQ. And of course, the Osttruppen are going to be his mainline infantry, at least for a little while. Well, not really for a little while, it's probably going to be for the rest of the game, but you know, this is what he's going to have to fight with right now. Over on the left-hand side, rear echelon getting pushed away by the Osttruppen. Easy win there for the Osttruppen, especially with some piles behind there for support. Center map, Osttruppen squad fighting against rifles. The rifles are getting caught by the MG42. We have an MG42 up in the north, very near to the cutoff, not currently in the cutoff, so the resources are still gathering some. Although really there's only the munitions currently providing resources to FK9, but he does have rifles. Rifles currently fighting against the Osttruppen. Osttruppens being quite a good meat shield here, absorbing some damage against the rifles, moving around, repositioning. MG42 managing to turn its sights, and currently catches the rifle squad there once again out in the open, getting it suppressed and forcing it to crawl out of the way. Will potentially get it pinned down, although it looks to be able to break a line of sight here through the big hay bale. However, with a rifle squad and a rear echelon squad coming up for the flank on that MG42, the MG42 will soon be forced to GTFO. Second Osttruppen squad up in the north, going to be coming up on the flank on that rear echelon squad, but with the MG42 being forced to backpedal and reposition. The rifles are in hot pursuit. They're going to have to run through another Osttruppen squad, but it is currently down to 3 men, down to 2 on the engagement, and forced to retreat, so the MG42 will be able to pop inside the shack, allowing it to stay on the field, keeping some field control there for Angreifen. But now the piles are really the mainline infantry, fighting against the rifle squad, bringing it down to 1 man, doing quite a good job there. There is another Osttruppen squad in the way, 4 man strong, could potentially take out that 1-man rifle squad if it focuses it down. Will it focus it down? It does not look like it's going to be focusing it down. It's actually going to be retreating, as there is a second rifle squad coming up along the retreating member. Going to be getting in the way, taking some additional shots, and potentially picking up a kill. Not getting the kill, but does force FK9 to reposition. Angreifen to reposition the MG42. Getting another squad there suppressed and forcing the retreat. Flamethrowers upgraded on the Pios, as we do see a second Pio squad on the field for Angreifen. Moving up with the MG42, being very aggressive, very low in health on that MG. Could actually lose it right here, down to 1 man, sliver of health left. Still in the engagement. His retreat, can it make it out of there? Ooh, wow, that was very close. Barely makes it out. And Angreifen does not gift an MG42 to FK9. So FK9 forced to backpedal with all his troops, as the Pios with the flamethrowers are unscathed, fully reinforced, and at full strength. So it is a difficult fight there. Back at base, though, we do see Tier 1 having gone down for Angreifen, and then following it up with Tier 2. Now, it was clarified to me, of course, that the reason you go for that is for the Fausts, which I get, but, I mean, almost seems kind of like an upgrade to me, like getting the anti-tank rifle grenades on conscripts that you can basically pop when you see the need of it rather than preemptive. But a lot of players like to cover their bases and make sure that they have all those things available, and you see players getting anti-tank guns and even upgrades like the anti-tank grenades, before there's a threat on the field, expecting some type of threat to hit at a certain point in the game. So, you know, I can understand it, because I mean, he could technically just skip that, build tier 2, get his bunker, and then start building tier 1 when he sees that there's a need for being able to get a Faust. But, I mean, it is a little bit more difficult considering that you need Pios to build it. It's not just an upgrade on an HQ. So, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just, I would hope maybe an even higher level of play, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I maybe shouldn't say much. But anyways, we see the Pios engaging still here in the center, doing quite a good job. Popping inside that house, Flamethrower having quite an advantage against the rifles, forcing them to retreat down to 3 men, everybody out. We do have an ambulance on the field for FK9, getting those heals going on all the troops. And we have 4 rifles in total for FK9. Is he currently upgrading something? Yes, he's getting himself a captain. Going for the captain tech, which will, of course, counter any vehicle coming from tier 2, but we don't currently have any vehicles coming from tier 2 for Angreifen. It's I mean, it's interesting. He's not doing a lot. I mean, he did spend his resources teching, but so far, I mean, considering that he opened with Osttruppen, which Osttruppen are relatively cheap, you would expect more, and he only really has 2 Osttruppen and 2 Pios to fight with the MG for support, and that's all he currently has on the map, which is not a lot, really. Usually when you see Osttruppen coming into play, especially early game, you tend to see a lot of them, so this is a very interesting way of utilizing them for Angreifen. So we'll see. Anyways, up in the north, rifles and rear echelons, forcing the retreat of that Osttruppen squad down to 4 men. We'll make it out of there just fine. Center map, Pios returning as well, having taken some damage, but not currently killed. And we see a trench getting laid down there for Angreifen. Currently only about maybe 10% of the way, 20 at best. Gets cancelled, obviously, due to the engagement, or, well, not cancelled, but it gets left there. And if FK9 so desires, he could just destroy it. Smoke grenade getting popped right in front of the MG, breaking its line of sight, forcing it to reposition itself. Rifles on the left-hand side coming up for the flank. Do we have something for support? No, we have a retreating Osttruppen squad, and that is about it. Pack gun coming out for Angreifen from his tier 2. Oh yeah, the Osttruppen also got changed there with the supply drop, which is, I mean, it's fine, but yeah. Those were the changes that took place. Up in the front of the base, we do see a rifle squad for FK9 going for the cutoff, managing to disconnect the fuel and munitions for Angreifen. He moves up with the Pios and Osttruppen squad, quickly forcing the retreat of that rifle squad, and they're going to recover the point and reconnect the resources. So it'll be a little while, but it shouldn't be too bad. FK9 does go for the Airborne company, calling in a 50 cal machine gun, dropping it probably back at base, I would assume. Yeah, not going to be running a risk of having it lost. He's just going to drop it back at base and have whoever is currently available pick that up. Rear echelon squad capturing the, well, decapping really the point on the far left hand side. Osttruppen squad is coming up to punish them. And that's about as much as we see. Tier 1 being utilized since it's already built, getting a mortar out on the field for Angreifen. And the pack gun, as we said, is already on the field. Again, anticipating some type of vehicle play, but we currently don't see anything from FK9. He did get the captain, but he's not following it up with a quick steward or anything like that. And so far, it seems like the resources are just going into maintaining troops, apparently. Grenade does go off there on the Pio squad. Ooh, that was disappointing. It was a nice hit, but it only managed to kill one. Did a decent amount of damage to the remainder of the Pio squad, but with no follow-up there possible. They just retreat and they'll be fine. So the mortar on the field, taking some shots. Pack gun currently taking some shots through the hedge, so it looks like he's trying to actually open up the hedge by doing that. It continues to shoot here and breaks and is going to open up the battlefield. It's interesting, but I can see why some players like opening up like that. Captain on the far right-hand side forced to retreat as we have some Osttruppen and Pios with flamethrowers quickly taking care of that. Rifle's going to be engaging the MG42 inside this shack. MG42 not currently looking at the rifles. It's currently looking? Yeah, it's currently looking up to the north. Rifles popping a smoke grenade in the way, breaking line of sight there with the shack. And the MG42 is going to pop out and reposition itself in a perhaps better angle. Over on the north, we do have a Osttruppen squad capturing the strategic point, while the rear echelon squads and the rifles flood onto the field for FK9. Pile squad popping out of the house with its flamethrower, more smoke grenades popping all over the place as FK9 utilizes his munitions. I mean, they don't cost that much, it's only 13, so it's fine to utilize them, you know, freely. Especially against an MG, I mean, breaking line of sight, MG becomes obsolete, ineffective, and like this is quickly forced to retreat off of the field, allowing all your infantry to easily push forward without much opposition. Rear echelon squad up at the front of the base, trying to go for the cutoff. Once again, they get denied by the piles and quickly forced to retreat. The hedge here seems to have taken quite a beating. Not sure if it's completely open just yet, but it looks to be opening up a little bit more. Pack gun backing off as, you know, doesn't have anything to do. Like I said, a lot of players like building them to cover their bases, expecting something to hit around those timings, and it's natural to be used to it because you don't want to get caught with your pants down. But when it doesn't happen, it seems like, well, like maybe you could have done something else. Osttruppen up in the north retreating. We see a lot of troops in the front of the base now. FK9 being aggressive against Langreskaya, going once again for the cutoff. We do see this Osttruppen squad retreating through the path of those rifles. They'll be fine, but the rifles will be able to disconnect the point. And the resources on the left-hand side will once again not be providing anything for Langreskaya. We see a paratrooper squad getting called in for FK9. Where is he dropping it? I don't see it. Ah, back at base. Okay. So, not wanting again to risk anything. Because you do run the risk, of course, when you're dropping paratroopers, at least in Company Heroes 2, that if they're going to land like in a big zone and they land like on a hedge that is not valid terrain for units or infantry to walk upon, they actually die. You know, if they're gonna land on some stuff, they you end up with an incomplete squad. So I get it, it's fine. That's why you have the ability with the Pathfinders to lay down like antenna little things there that allow you to reduce the radius necessary for the squad to land. So it makes it a lot easier to get the entire squad. And it also allows you forward reinforcement, which you don't see being used a lot. They're free, which is kind of weird that you don't get it a lot, but you kind of have to go place the spot, and it's a little bit clumsy, but I mean, it's potentially useful. So we finally see Langreskaya pushing forward with a lot of pyos and a lot of flamethrowers, breaking the siege at the front of the base there by FK9 with the 50 cal machine gun and his rifles. So managing to push back, but not before FK9 manages to capture a lot of territory, even going for the victory point on the left-hand side. Captain now engaging the Pyos. The Pyos with their flamethrowers having a field day here, killing the USA, and they get out of there quite fine. Even the mortar being utilized here to cap, as we see Osttruppen squad retreating from the right-hand side to some rifles. We have in the center the MG42 trying to catch these rifles as they manage to pop a grenade on top of the MG, killing the gunner, but the rest of the crew stays alive, repositioning itself into a better angle here against the opposing rifles. Pack gun behind, utilize the cap, but just sitting there. Osttruppen squad moving forward as the mortar is trying to provide some support from behind. The rifles pushing forward, they get themselves past the rear echelon squad. They do throw a nice grenade there at the mortar. Mortar squad ends up retreating, making it out of there without losing any members, and a little bit of splash damage, which the medics should be able to deal with quite easily. Pack gun, though, getting caught there very, well, not very badly, but a little bit out of position there by two rifle squads, taking some damage, losing some members, losing a second one, but managing to barely get themselves out of there, as the Osttruppen squad on the other side is trying to provide some cover. Manages to make it out of there and stays alive, so no big deal. And a grenade flies at the Osttruppen as they manage to dodge that masterfully, getting themselves out of that shrub, and the rifles are now taking the full fire here of the Osttruppen squad. Veteran C2 on both of them, and the rifles make it out of there. 50 cal behind, covering the zone. We have the Pyos in the center retreating, as we seem to have lost the Pyos squad in one engagement. I'll note that since we haven't really seen much losses so far, so around the 14-minute mark or before that, we saw Pyos squad lost. Then we see Langreskaya going for the replacement. More smoke getting popped there as it allows troops to move forward. We see the paratroopers now on the field with Tommy guns this time around, so no LMGs for Langreskaya. It's nice to see the Tommy guns getting some use. They are generally considered the inferior upgrade between the LMGs and, well, between the two, I should say. But it's nice to see. I mean, they do have a lot of damage potential up close. So yeah. So anyways, point does get capped there by the paratroopers, cutting off again resources on the left-hand side. Angrefien unable to stop these harasses into his side of the field. The Pios move further forward and are unable to do too much. We do see that the 50 cal machine gun does get cleared here out in the front of the base for Angrefien. Looks like the mortar having a successful attack there, getting 7 kills and barraging. Still going to be barraging its own MG, which it should probably stop doing. But we do see another shot flying. Ooh, close. Does a little bit of splash damage, but they all stay alive. Still shooting. Jeez. Stop it, mortar. Jeez, that mortar is crazy. And Angrefien is even crazier for leaving his MG there to take the shots. Captain does get suppressed there by the MG42, however. And we see the Osttruppen squad up in the north going for the munitions point, finding the captain and being okay in doing so. Pios over on the left-hand side engaging. We see yet another Pios squad lost, or another Pios squad canceled, because I saw he was building another one. I never saw the confirmation though, so we'll double check. And the rifles are engaging the Pios on the left-hand side. Ooh, grenade, but ooh, that was a nice grenade attempt there by Mr. FK9, throwing it far behind on the retreat path of the Pios squad, anticipating the reaction of the retreat, hopefully getting it on the retreat, but a little bit short there, and it manages to get out of there without taking the damage. Paratroopers with their Tommy guns trying to close the distance here on the MG42. The MG42 moving out of the way as it knows that grenades are on the field. And even if they weren't, the paratroopers inherently have grenades, which are cooked grenades, meaning they have a shorter fuse time. Do they cost more? Yeah, they cost, well, they cost 32, and these guys cost 27. Yeah, so they do cost more. 5 more to be exact, but yeah, they have a shorter fuse. So the pack gun being brought up a little bit sacrificially, getting right there in front of the rifles, not caring, being utilized to stop the cap and potentially cap themselves. Now everybody moves out of the way, and nobody is capturing the point. No, he is capturing the point. Okay, never mind. So it was decapping the point. And we have Osttruppen on the far right-hand side going for the fuel for FK9, trying to deny him that ability. Now on the field, though, we do see the Major for FK9, so we're probably finally going to be seeing some vehicles coming into play into this game. Angrefien has also gone for the Heavy Panzer Corps' Tier 4, and, I mean, I can only assume because he's going to be getting some heavier vehicles. Rifles and Osttruppen engaging out in the front. MG42 behind it, providing some support, trying to stop those paratroopers and the rifles. Rifles are in position to be able to set up another smoke grenade on top of the MG42. They're closing the distance. Smoke grenades get popped, like I said, and the MG42 loses its line of sight. Those are so effective. They're just so good. And it's nice to see how much smoke is used in Company Heroes 2, because I don't remember smoke being utilized a lot in Company Heroes 1. And it was there. You had those abilities, but oh, great grenade there by Mr. FK9, clearing that MG42. Getting the steal there by the rifles. Oh, getting nailed by the mortar. Almost clearing out the squad. And the paratroopers activating their, what's it called? The tactical assault. Which, I mean, it's basically buff and debuff. It makes you more effective, which I don't know exactly what it means as far as stat goes. Supply drop getting dropped here for Angrefien, trying to recover some resources. It costs you manpower, and it gives you some munitions and fuel. I don't remember exactly how much it gives, but well, there it is. Anyways, so yeah, it basically improves your damage, but also makes you take more damage in a sense. What exactly are the values? I don't know, but somebody probably knows. But that's basically what it does. You know, you do more damage, but also take more damage.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Captain retreating down to 1 man, barely makes it out of there. We now have a Jackson on the field for FK9, anticipating some type of heavier vehicle for Angrefien, which is, you know, a legitimate response considering that we have seen no vehicles whatsoever in this game for Angrefien, which, you know, kind of leads you to believe that he's utilizing his fuel for something or another. In this case, though, however, we see Angreifen going for the Panther, which, you know, is also kind of designed against vehicles. So both players kind of getting into each other's head and maybe overthinking it a little bit. Osttruppen squad retreating from the right-hand side as rifles push forward. They're going to decap there, but we do have behind the lines that other Osttruppen squad capturing that fuel point, so it's going to make it a little bit annoying there for FK9 in his resource generation. Pios over on the far left-hand side, or north left-hand side, engaging against the Major. The Major quickly retreating as it realizes, oh wait, I'm just a Major. I don't actually have any guns. And we see more Pios in the center, laying down some S minefields apparently. Not sure if it was a full minefield. Yeah, it looks like it was. And capturing that center victory point. 50 cal machine gun moving up. We also have that stolen MG42, which is currently moving over on the right-hand side. And we see the Panther coming into play now for Angreifen. Gonna be shooting some infantry, but it is a Panther, so it's kind of shitty against it. Will be upgraded with the gunner on top, which will help significantly. It's not gonna be amazing, but it's gonna do what it can. Panther trying to go for some crushes here on those paratroopers, but the paratroopers quickly react and move themselves out of the way. Jackson moves up, takes a shot at the Panther. The Panther takes but a glancing blow, and at this stage of the game, at this late hour, we see a 2-2-2 coming into play for Angreifen. That is very interesting. Pack gun getting cleared out quickly by the paratroopers with their Tommy guns. Anti-tank rifle grenade does fly at the Panther, breaking its, well, not breaking, but, you know, disabling the engine a little bit. Grenade fly. Oh, that's a nice grenade. Pio squad doesn't go down, loses a member, but they were spread out, so they were fine. Osttruppen squad potentially able to pick up the pack gun. The pack gun has taken, I mean, not the pack gun, the Jackson has taken quite a bit of damage, forced to back off. And the Panther, I mean, really the engine is the thing that it lost, because it's actually doing quite fine. We have Pios nearby to repair. So 2-2-2, now moving around a little bit freely as the Jackson was forced to back off. It is now going to run itself into some rifles. Rifles do, of course, have that threat of the anti-tank rifle grenade, so it has to be relatively careful on that. And we now see, what is that? Is that a Sherman? Yeah, standard Sherman coming into play for FK9 as he decides that he wants to build up on his troops. 2-2-2 engaging the rifles over on the far right-hand side, bringing them relatively close to death. Down to 3 men, but very low in health. But with the support of the mortar, that could have easily been a wipe with a nicely placed shot. The rifles moving back as the 2-2-2 takes some additional drive-by shots. And the 50 cal machine gun has been stolen over here in the north by Angreifen, as it looks like the 50 cal machine gun ran itself straight into that S minefield and got itself killed. So the 50 cal machine gun trying to stop the approaching infantry, managing to do so, moving out of the way as of course it knows that the smoke can easily just clear the way. Panther moving up, going to be fighting against that Jackson. The Jackson is back to full strength. Panther as well back to full strength, and the 2-2-2 is currently back at base waiting some repairs. Mortar utilized the cap, Osttruppen moving behind the cap, Pios moving up to support, and the Panther took a little bit of damage there as the Jackson does have a very good weapon. Sherman moving over by itself over to the right-hand side, potentially trying to clear out some infantry, and looks like maybe trying to bait the Panther. Gets itself shot up very, very badly. The Jackson moves up to try and take some shots, potentially trying to take down. Ooh, gets abandoned. That is an abandoned tank. The Jackson is there trying to finish off the Panther, but the Panther is still there. The Jackson decides, you know what, I can't allow him to keep that Sherman. Takes a shot, executes his own vehicle, and that is unfortunate, but that is how it's supposed to go. Osttruppen moves up, taking a Faust shot, gets a hit on the Jackson, and the Jackson now has a damaged engine. The Panther could potentially go on the hunt, but it has taken quite a bit of damage. It's tough, and it's able to take shots, but it's already down to half health, so it's a very risky maneuver there. Paratroopers and rifles pushing forward. The Pios trying as best they can. Grenade does fly at them. That's like, oh, cooked grenade. Getting a good hit there. Down to 1 man on that Pios squad. But stays alive and makes it out. Victory points 288 to 381. 100-point game here. So it's not that big a difference, currently in the favor of Angreifen, of course.
Osttruppen here. We have captured a sector.
Then we see the 50 cal, or the stolen 50 cal, as the players traded MGs between each other. Currently having the fight of MG to MG, we have the MG42 now returning fire on the 50 cal machine gun. The 50 cal machine gun currently firing at the MG42. Although it's currently just sitting there, not actually taking shots, it decides to switch its target on the captain, getting it suppressed, and then returning fire on the MG42. 50 cal machine gun, though, does need to get the hell out of there. It's going to get cleared out. Looks like it's going to get cleared out as it allows the captain to get up close and personal. His retreat. Rifles on top of it. Can it make it out? Yeah, it's going to make it out. It's a good retreat. Down to one man. Going to take some additional shots, but yeah, it's still good. Still good. Panther moving up, taking some shots. It's a Panther, though, so it just creates a little bit of dirt, and nothing else really happens. Pack him behind it there for support. Rifles moving up. Pios nearby. Pios with their flamethrowers doing as best they can. Doing a lot of damage there to the clumped up troops. We see a nasty shot flying there by the Jackson, getting a good hit on the Panther, but the Panther's still alive. And the rifles are forced to retreat. Pio squad also forced to retreat. Pio moving straight through the center, going to be going for the captain. The captain currently capping that victory point. Is already capped, and we see the oh, that was a very nice rifle grenade, as we see some Grens coming into play right now for Angreifen, realizing that his infantry needs a little bit of help there. The Pios, as cool as they are, they don't seem to be able to cut it right now. Grand Squad tries to go for the steal on that MG, but they lose one of their members in the process, and realizing they would have gotten themselves no, not killed, but you know, you would have sacrificed the squad to take the weapon. They decide against this, as there, of course, were two rifles on top of it, which also probably would have killed them. Pack gun being forced to back off. 50 cal machine gun getting flanked by the rifles, unable to stop them as they circle around. Panther taking some shots, but again, it's a Panther, so what is it going to do? And behind it, the Pio squads are capturing the victory point. Jackson moving aggressively forward, going for the Panther. The Panther is currently focused on the infantry, turning its sights on the Jackson. The Jackson returns fire. Jackson getting some good hits there. And we see an Osttruppen squad coming up behind and going for the steal on the MG42, recovering the MG42 and turning it around, getting a Faust going off on that Jackson. The Jackson very low in health. The Panther potentially has a window here. He is relatively healthy, so this is a potential kill here on that Jackson. Panther moves up, takes a shot, whips it completely, gets shot in the face by the Jackson. Can he finish the job? He's going to get himself killed by the captain. Oh, that one horrible. Angreifen going balls deep there with that with the Panther. Explodes a little bit early, and jeez, we do still have that 222 on the field. I mean, the 222 could potentially have gone on the hunt there for that Jackson, but it was a suicide mission regardless. But oh, that was very tough there for Angreifen. Loses his Panther, gonna have to replace it, but with that kind of equalizes there and brings FK9 a little bit back into the game. I mean, it looked for a second there, whilst the Panther was still alive, that FK9 was in the back foot. He is currently down on the victory points. And, oh, that pack gun is also going to get cleared out. Oh, no. Angreifen falling a little bit apart here. We do have Pios nearby, though, with the flamethrowers, doing a lot of damage there to the paratroopers. Down to two men, very low in health, but they barely make it out of there. The MG42 getting smoked by the rifles. Pios going to be moving up to flame the rifles. And we also saw an Osttruppen squad killed, potentially. Maybe it was here in the center. Not too sure, but doesn't matter too much. 50 cal machine gun getting cleared there in the front of the base for Angreifen. FK9 potentially able to steal it. No, unable to steal it. Forced to retreat. And another Panther is currently on the field, but the Jackson is back to full strength. And yeah. So the Panther moves up, rifles engaging the Pios. The Pios forced to retreat. The MG42 behind it is providing support. We, of course, do still have the 50 cal machine gun right there. They could also be turned around against the forces of FK9. His rifles, they're all veteran C3, so they have to be stopped somehow. I mean, aside from the Major, he really has nothing but veteran infantry. And the Major is currently being utilized to just move around and camp on the sides. So the MG42 moves up, getting some suppressions going on the paratroopers. Rifles moving forward, going to get right on top of that MG42. And not going to be able to stop it. The 50 cal machine gun behind it, though, is getting some bursts going, trying as best they can. Grenade does fly at the MG42, going to get a good clear there. Oh, down to one man, but he moves out of the way, needs to retreat, and retreat now. There it goes. 50 cal machine gun does get a suppression going, as we do have another squad behind it that got suppressed. The Garens with their LMGs trying as best they can to fight this veteran infantry. But remember that fighting against veteran infantry actually veterans you up a lot faster. So while it sucks to lose veterancy, you can actually recover relatively quickly as long as you can keep the squad alive. I mean, this one's already veterancy 1, the other one as well. So, I mean, look at that. Veterancy 2 acquired right away because he's fighting against veterancy 3 guys. And yeah. Forces to retreat, down to 3 men, but yeah, I mean, veterancy adds up and stacks up very quickly. Pile squads, I should say, moving forward. We see FK9 going for the howitzers, the motor carriages, and going for 2 right off the bat, spending those resources right away, or altogether as he had hoarded them a little bit. Panther currently opening up the field, crushing hedges all over the place and coming up from distinct angles. Shots flying from the Pagan in the center of the map, capturing territory, getting a good shot going on the Jackson. The Jackson turning its sight, taking a shot but only impacting terrain. We see the MGs moving up together, trying to stop the approaching infantry. MG42 doing its best it can against the paratroopers as the 50 cal machine gun turns its sights around and is going to be focusing on any infantry trying to approach the Panther. Gets suppression going on the captain and the rifle squad. However, a smoke grenade gets popped in front of it and is unable to continue to shoot. And we see the motor carriage now on the field, just sitting there. The 222 is also still there. Kind of unsure why Angreifen got it then. If he's not going to be harassing too much, he could have been utilizing it a little bit more aggressively, like potentially to stop the Major from capping on the sides. But even then, though, he has been doing quite well at capping. I mean, just look at the map. Angreifen is currently all about it. MG, and that is, of course, the MG42, getting cleared out here with the help of the howitzer. The rifles trying as best they can to maybe steal it. Not really going to be able to do so, as there's a Gren squad and another MG nearby. The MG is getting cleared out here by the rifle squad as they manage to decap the point. Holy shit, what did they do to that guy? Look at that. Oh my god. And the Panther pushes forward. The Panther is not currently set to target only vehicles. However, it is going to catch the motor carriage out in the open. Takes a nasty shot there in the face by the Jackson, which could actually get it killed once again. But we see the railway artillery getting called in right on top of everything. Second shot flies, down goes the motor carriage. Nice pickup there for FK9, and the railway artillery gets called in right on top of the base. Gets a shot going on the ambulance. The ambulance gets abandoned, still alive, but boom, shots just landing all over the place. So all the troops currently pushing forward. They can't afford to retreat, otherwise they're going to get railway artillery. The Jackson is going on the hunt, trying to see if it can find anything. The Panther moves its way back to the base, gets damage on the engine as it gets fausted by the Grens. Pack gun currently set up behind it, going to get a shot off going on the rear of the Jackson, and that's potentially going to get the kill. There it goes, out of control, crashes against the house. FK9 throws in the towel, and that is game. Wow. Brilliant maneuver there by Angreifen with that railway, harassing it there, and forced FK9's hand of pushing forward. Everybody gets suppressed. Yeah, that was pretty brilliant there. Whew, that was nice back and forth. And with that, we'll end it there. So anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.